Well, this is William Hemphill with the Faith and Family Matters podcast. I'm your host, and I'm a pastoral therapist, and we talk about things related to faith and family. It's early on a Sunday morning. I'm getting ready to speak at a church, but I wanted to share a thought real quick. And the thought is simply this: why do we limit ministry to certain things? Why do we limit ministry to certain things? I'm saying this because I've been a pastor. I am a preacher's kid. I'm blessed to be able to pray with my father every Sunday. But one of the things he's saying in the prayer time, well, because I'm going to preach at this church, is are they looking for a pastor? And I will be honest, part of it is my stuff. It hit me a certain way because it's kind of like, Dad, do you see ministry as only one thing? In other words, if someone is not in the pulpit sharing the word or leading a church, that is the only way to do ministry. And I say that about that, but man, I know about this from so many people. As a matter of fact, because I do a lot of marital work and a lot of marital counseling now, and spiritual counseling and different things, and I've done an emphasis on that. There are a lot of people who feel like that I have abandoned ministry. When the truth is, I'm using my talents and gifts and what God has allowed me to do and called me to do in different areas. Because I've noticed that church people, for instance, often need spiritual and emotional healing. And I've noticed that people need to know how to hold together marriages and families. And I've been blessed to have some training and gifting in that. And so I'm sharing that as part of my story. But then here's the thing: when we limit a call of ministry to a certain shape, we often limit people who are called to do ministry. Because here's the truth: not everybody is going to be able to go up and stand up in a pulpit Sunday after Sunday. And not everybody is called to do that, actually. You have denominations where a lot of people are looking and waiting for churches, depending on your process. And so you have a lot of people who are gifted and talented that often go unfulfilled because they are waiting for the quote unquote opportunities that may not come because a pulpit is filled. I want to invite us to look at something different when we talk about callings to ministry. What are we uniquely gifted and talented to do? What comes easy to us that allows us to serve others and bless people? What is the story of the pain that has been in our hearts that God has healed us from? And understand that God has healed us from that pain so we can bring healing to others. And what does that look like? Because for while one person, it might be standing in a pulpit, another person, it might be writing a book, another person, it may be sitting in the background using cameras to film people who are doing these things. Another person, it might be cooking and serving. Another person, it might be being a doctor or a nurse or caring for somebody. Another person, it might be being with children and teaching them and guiding them. What I'm really saying is this: God has so many ways of calling and using people. And what I like to push back on, especially for us religious institutionalized people, it ain't always in the church. Because the scripture says, for God so loved the world, not just God so loved the people who are in the church building. So, as I prepare for closing, and get ready to go deliver the word today at a church, I want us to think about this. How has God called us to serve? And where has God called us to serve? And let us be content in serving in that way, no matter if some people understand or some people don't. Here's another one for you, and this is kind of the stage where I'm at. If God is birthing a vision in you to serve in a unique and different way or empower others to serve, go for it step by step, even if you can't explain it fully. I tell people I'm in a stage right now where I can't explain what God is doing with me in ministry fully. I know that I am a pastoral therapist that works to help people heal marriages and helps people heal from their emotional pain. I also know I'm in a transition season where I'm going to start to eventually employ other people to do that because I won't focus on that work as much because I can only help so many people, but I can train others to help do that work. I also know that I'm in a place where God is opening doors for me to use some of these gifts that I learned in ministry, in church, in speaking, and using areas that I've been in corporate and colleges and all these things to talk about mental health and spiritual health in avenues and places where they might not be talked about. And then, of course, I do also still deliver the word at times. Now, that's a short summary, but that's part of the area that God is working in me. Here's the question. What is God working in you? What is that vision? And how do you go about it? But then here's the other question. How do we keep others from limiting us when they only see ministry in certain avenues and in certain ways? So those are just some of my thoughts today on call to ministry. I personally believe that God has called us, made us, equipped us, and all of us to do something. It's just not in the same areas because we are uniquely and wonderfully made people designed to do things that God would have us do. So this is William Hemphill. Thank you for listening to the Faith and Family Matters podcast. If you want to know more about my work, you can go one of two places, www.faithandfamilyempowerment.com or www.williamhemphill2.com. Thank you for listening today. I may add some more thoughts about this in due time and due season because I really want people to be equipped to do the work that God would have us to do in the world. Take care. God bless you.